should I say, good late morning. I am your host, Sean Ferrell. This is the Sean Ferrell podcast. And let's not waste no time, shall we? Let's get right into it. So, there is a documentary that I've been working on with the one and only Larry Avi King visuals. I know I haven't updated y'all in a long time about that, but some kinks had to be worked out, and now the finishing touches just have to be put on, and it will be released soon. One of the parts actually had to be cut out because it kept messing up the picture. And that part had to be cut out. And so I'm gonna do a video on the part that was cut out. So that would be like somebody fills in for a actor, a stand-in video. If you would like to say a stand-in video. But yeah, so it will be released soon. I am patiently eager to see it. And you best believe I'm gonna stay on Larry. Believe it, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna stay on him. Believe it. Anyway. So there is no real topic to today. It's just speaking from the heart, and it's probably going to be a little bit sad, a little bit scary, trigger warnings, but you just got to get some things out. So I was at my lowest point in 2012. And I was just in a very, very black place. It was like being trapped in a box that you cannot get out of. And I call 2012 the year 2012, the 2012 from hell. That's what it really was, okay? The 2012 from hell. That's what it was. And I was just so much in a dark place that I could barely make it through work, let alone make it through the whole day. It's like I just had to struggle just to make it through 1 hour of work. Just 1 hour. Let alone 8. And it was around that time where I just really wanted to go. I really wanted to go. I wanted to end my life with suicide. And oh, this is going to sound a little bit scary, but if I could have chosen the opportunity to end my life back in 2012, I would have done so. I would have done so. And I'm at risk for suicide every day. And you say, how? And you say, well, how are you at risk of suicide every day? Well, I used to keep a knife, a sharp knife under my bed. I kept a sharp knife under my bed. And for those of you who regularly watch my channel, you may remember I mentioned that me and my ex-girlfriend were arguing. This was several years ago. We were arguing, and I pulled out that sharp knife and I cut myself. Among the several other times that I did. Confession. A few weeks ago, I actually brought the sharp knife back in. And yes, I began to cut myself. This happened a few weeks ago. I didn't cut for that long. No. Didn't cut her for that long. But I didn't cut long enough to see any blood. Which is good. Which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. I mentioned moments ago that I'm at risk for suicide every day. Someone with a history of self-harm is actually considered at risk for suicide. Self-harm can be an accidental suicide because what if you cut the wrong, you know what? You know. And so I'm at risk for suicide every day. And I can still see these scars on my arm from the past times that I self-harm. I can still see them. They faded, but they're not gone away. I can still see them, and I can still see them clearly. I can still see them very, very, very clearly. I was discussing with my friend just the other day. And we discussed this a while back, but no. I have a bad memory. little bit of a bad memory, but I texted her and I said, it's a suicide attempt, an attempt, even if it's very futile. And she responded back by saying, yes, an attempt is an attempt. In my case, a futile attempt. In my case, a futile attempt. But an attempt is an attempt. So, I attempted suicide. I attempted suicide. I'm at risk for suicide every day. Because of my history with self-harm. That's one risk right there. And number two, I sometimes think about it. And another reason would be I used to carry a small blade in my bag. Okay? I used to carry a small blade in my bag. And I kept that blade handy. Just in case. I kept that blade handy in my bag. Just in case I wanted to. Told my friend about it. Told my friend about it. No, as someone, myself who really doesn't reach out as often as I should, as someone who does not reach out as often as I should, she said, you got to get rid of that blade. Get rid of that blade for me. Just get rid of that blade. That's what she told me. She said, you got to get rid of that blade. Not only get rid of that blade, but I want video evidence as well. I want video evidence that you got rid of that blade. And it wasn't a large blade. It was one of those real small triangular blades. It was one of those small blades that looked like a triangle. They looked like a wide triangle. One of those. But anyway, she told me, you need to get rid of that blade. Please get rid of that blade. I said I would. I said, yeah, I would. I did not immediately get rid of it, though. I didn't immediately get rid of it. Because of the fact that I'm just so busy working during the work week that sometimes you even forget. Sometimes I completely forgot that blade was even in my bag. But it will often pop into my mind often that I need to get rid of that blade. I need to get rid of that blade. And so it was on a Saturday when I received that text message from my friend and said, "Have you got rid of the blade yet?" I told her no, but I will. And when I got out home after what I was doing, from what I was doing, I took video footage and I put that blade in the garbage. My aim is just in the garbage, okay? I put that blade in the garbage, took video of it, sent it to her. And that was a load off of her shoulders. But I've been thinking about suicide as far as 2006, 2007. And those thoughts already start to become less and less, but doesn't mean that they're still not there. No, they will occasionally pop up. And I just mentioned that I don't reach out as much as I should. And one of the reasons that I did not, that I still sometimes struggle with, is the fact that I think people really just don't give a rat's ass about me. Excuse my language. But yeah. I've said this several times. Depression talks to you, okay? Okay? And for the longest time, I was convinced family, friends, girlfriend, co-workers really don't give a F. They really don't give a F. Would they even miss me if I was even gone? Yeah, I thought like that. Those walls are beginning to crack, though. After all this time, those walls are beginning to crack. But it's a slow crackdown, though. It's a slow crack down. And when I was in the 5th grade, that's the first time I saw porno. That's the first time I saw porno. Okay? The very next day, there was a schoolgirl. I was in the 5th grade at the time. A girl in my class that I liked. That I dreamed that I was doing that stuff that I saw in the porno flick to her. And that really morphed. And that right there really morphed into an unhealthy coping habit for my depression, okay? That really morphed into an unhealthy coping habit for my depression. I've had friends who battled drug addiction. I have friends who battled meth addiction. Have friends, or in my case, porno addiction. And for the longest time, I could not shake it. For the longest time, I could not shake it. It was an unhealthy coping habit, mechanism, whatever you want to call it, for my depression. And that porn, that wall is almost torn down. The wall of the unhealthy coping habit of porno is basically torn down. I don't look at it anymore. So that wall is like torn down. I was watching a basketball documentary on Clutch City, the Houston Rockets 2 championships, and Kenny Smith talked about imagine that you're tapping on a wall. You're just tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Then all of a sudden, there's light. Give me 1 second. My laptop is on low, so I gotta plug it in. Give me 1 second. All right, here I am. He talked about how you just tap a wall. You're just tapping. You're just tapping. Then all of a sudden, a little tiny light appears. And that's you. And that's basically me tapping the wall. No, just been tapping, and there's light. There's light. Yep. No, it hasn't always been easy, but I've gotten up every time. So, all right, y'all. I just want to speak from the heart. So, have a restful, peaceful, wonderful weekend.